How to export and sync your Shopify products to your Etsy shop in just a few easy steps. You'll be surprised how simple this is. So, let's get started with the setup. Today we'll be using our Shopify store as our product source. Updates will come from our Shopify store. Then, any changes to Shopify will be reflected in the target channel. In our case, Etsy. I'm choosing Shopify as my source. This is where I put my Shopify URL and nickname. It can be any nickname that I can remember. When I click Connect, a Shopify pop-up will appear and prompt you to install our ExportYourStore app. Click here to install. Once Shopify is connected, I click Next. We'll be using Etsy as our target channel since this is where we want to sync and export our products to. First, I click the Etsy logo, then I click Connect. The Etsy pop-up should be open. If not, just check to make sure it hasn't been blocked by your pop-up blocker on the browser. Now, we'll tell Etsy that you're going to authorize the Export Your Store app. Etsy may ask you to log in at first before you can authorize the Export Your Store app. Etsy is now connected, so let's click Next and choose our sync settings. Here we can see our settings. I'll walk you through this very briefly. Your first option is to auto-fix SKUs. This is required if you don't have SKUs on your product. Or, if you want, Export Your Store will automatically assign SKUs to all your products. These settings will fix the SKUs on the source channel, which, in our case, is Shopify. By hovering the cursor over the info button, you can learn more. The other options are self-explanatory. I click Next to move to the next step. Okay, we finished the setup and our products are ready for export. Let's get to our products page where we can see all our source products. We need to do a few things before we can export our products to Etsy. We want our Shopify categories to be the same as our Etsy categories, so we need to map them prior to exporting. You only need to do this once. I'm clicking here. Okay, so we can see that our product is listed in the rings category on Shopify. We want to find the Etsy category that's closest to my Shopify category. The search automatically selected rings, but you can change the category if you want. Now, let's look at the search results. Let's say I want to map the category to a more generalized category. So, I click the checkbox and map selected category and then select jewelry. These categories can be remapped at any time. Now, let's try to export one product to our Etsy store. I click Export, and a pop-up opens. All right, so we need to configure our shipping profile at Etsy. A shipping profile is required to list products on Etsy. If you do have a shipping profile, but it's not shown here, most of the time that's because you have a calculated shipping profile. This needs to be configured differently. If that's the case, you can read how to do it by clicking on the link. If you don't have a shipping profile configured on Etsy, you'll have to create one. Let's do that now. First, we go to the Etsy website. Then we click Settings, then Shipping Settings, then Create a Profile. Okay, now you need to choose our country, state or region, the zip code, and the shipper. This will actually configure the shipping settings on Etsy. Now we click Save, and that's it. Let's go check to make sure it all worked. Open Export Your Store and hit the Refresh from Etsy button. Now we can see the profile loaded to Export Your Store, so we click Save. Okay, now we click Export again. We can see the status is now processing. This will take a few seconds. I should mention that you can do this automatically for all your products. This means that any product listed on Shopify can be listed on Etsy automatically. You can configure this later on in the settings. And we are done. Okay, the product is now listed on Etsy, and I'm excited to see how it looks. We can see that the product images have moved over to Etsy. The variations look great. Oh, wait. No, the description doesn't look right. This is probably because Shopify uses an HTML template. I'll show you how we can easily fix this. We can change how the products appear on Etsy by selecting the Rules section. Any field in this section can be manipulated. In this example, we want to manipulate the description field. I want to export only the text between send a message and every purchase of to Etsy. So here we assign the start text. And there we assign the end text. You can make custom rules for any product or by using any filter you choose. And now we click Save. Let's update that product description. For this, we need to change the settings to override the description on Etsy. You can change it or turn it on or off at any time. Okay, we're done. Now we click Update. And voila! Now it is the exact description I wanted and it looks perfect. All right. In under 5 minutes and with only a few simple steps, you can expand, export, and sync all your products from Shopify onto any marketplace. Subscribe for more and don't forget to visit us at ExportYourStore.com. Thanks for watching.